It started with a question that no one dared to ask out loud. What would it feel like to go on a date with Shohei Ohtani? Not just the superstar, not the MVP, but the quiet, mysterious man behind the headlines, the man who makes entire stadiums fall silent with a single swing. The idea seemed absurd. The world saw him as a legend, a baseball god, an untouchable symbol of discipline and perfection. But what if, just for one day, that wall came down? What if Ohtani, with his gentle smile and calm eyes, allowed someone into the rhythm of his real life, a rhythm beating behind all the noise of fame? Imagine the scene, the evening air of Los Angeles turning gold as the sun slips behind the skyline. Ohtani steps out of his black car wearing a simple hoodie, his cap low, trying to hide from curious eyes. He's used to the cameras, the flashes, the whispers, but tonight, this isn't about any of that. Tonight, he's just Shohei. You're waiting at a quiet restaurant near the ocean. The waves crash softly in the background, the smell of salt mixing with the faint aroma of grilled seafood. Your hands tremble slightly, not because of fear, but because of disbelief. Shohei Ohtani is walking toward you. He smiles, that famous smile, the one that melts entire fanbases, and suddenly the noise in your head stops. No reporters, no fans, no game highlights, just the soft sound of his footsteps approaching your table. He sits down, apologizing for being a few minutes late, explaining that traffic near Dodger Stadium was heavier than usual. His voice is deep yet calm, his English fluent but touched with a gentle rhythm that feels musical. You can tell he chooses every word carefully, not because he doesn't know what to say, but because he always means what he says. As the conversation begins, something unexpected happens. The man who seems so quiet in interviews starts to open up. He laughs. He tells stories about his early days in Japan, about sleeping in cold dorm rooms, practicing until midnight, dreaming not of fame, but of perfection. He talks about failure, about how even when he looked invincible, he was fighting silent battles no one ever saw. The waiter brings sushi, simple, elegant, just like him. He picks up a piece, looks at it thoughtfully, and says, "You know, baseball and sushi are similar." You laugh, confused, and he explains. Both require balance. Too much power, and it breaks apart. Too little, and it falls flat. He says it like a metaphor for life itself. The conversation shifts. He asks about you, not out of politeness, but with genuine curiosity. He listens carefully, his eyes never wandering, his presence grounding. It's rare, almost disarming. When he laughs, it's soft but contagious, the kind of laugh that feels like sunlight. And yet, beneath that calm surface, there's a weight. You can sense it, the pressure, the expectations, the constant demand to be perfect. You ask him what that feels like. He pauses, looks toward the ocean, and says quietly, "It's lonely sometimes. People cheer for what they see, not for what I feel." The honesty stings. For a moment, the image of the superhero fades, replaced by something raw and human. The silence that follows isn't awkward, it's sacred. You realize that the man sitting in front of you isn't just a baseball icon. He's someone who's been running his whole life, not from others, but from his own standards. Then, just when the mood feels heavy, he smiles again and asks if you've ever been to the batting cages. You laugh, thinking he's joking, but he's already standing, paying the bill, and leading you out to his car. Minutes later, you're standing in an empty batting facility. He tosses you a helmet, teasing, "Now's your chance to face the MVP." The tension breaks into laughter as you nervously take a swing, and miss completely. He laughs, that deep, heartwarming laugh that echoes through the quiet space. Then he steps behind you, adjusting your stance. His hands are gentle as he positions yours on the bat, guiding your shoulders. The moment feels electric, not because of romance, but because of presence. It's like he's teaching you his language, not Japanese, not English, but the rhythm of patience and timing. You finally make contact with the ball, and it flies straight into the net. He claps, grinning like a kid. For that brief second, you're not in a batting cage, you're in his world, where perfection isn't pressure, it's play. Afterward, you sit on the bench, both catching your breath. He takes a sip of water and looks thoughtful again. "You know," he says softly, "everyone talks about winning. But I play for peace. Baseball gives me that. There's something hauntingly beautiful about it." The man who's built an empire on velocity and power admits that what he really seeks is calm. It's almost poetic, the quiet heart behind the loudest cheers. As the night deepens, he offers to drive you home. The city lights blur through the windshield, the car filled with comfortable silence. You ask him what his dream is now, after breaking records, after conquering 2 leagues. He smiles faintly and says, to live simply. To keep loving the game, even when no one's watching. The words hit deeper than expected. Maybe that's the secret of Shohei Ohtani, the reason people can't look away. It's not just the home runs or strikeouts. It's that quiet truth behind every swing, the reminder that greatness doesn't always roar, sometimes it whispers. As you reach your stop, he opens the door for you. You thank him, unsure how to end a night that feels like a dream. He looks at you and says, almost shyly, thank you for tonight. It's rare to just be Shohei. You watch his car disappear into the city, taillights fading like a comet across the sky. And as you stand there, you realize something. The date wasn't about love or fame, it was about seeing the humanity inside a legend. The world will always remember Shohei Ohtani for his records, his power, his impossible duality. But you'll remember him for something else, the way he looked at the ocean, the way he laughed at the batting cage, the way he searched for peace in a noisy world. And somewhere out there, under the same night sky, Shohei Ohtani probably sits quietly, smiling to himself, knowing that for one fleeting evening, he got to live not as a hero, but as a human being who found connection beyond the field. Because even legends need moments when the cheers fade away, and all that's left is the heartbeat of a man who just wants to feel alive.